welcome to the updated Subnautica any percent speedrunning tutorial. Um, Given the fact that the old one is pretty outdated now and a lot of strategies have changed over the last couple of months, I decided to make a new any percent tutorial. So there are a couple of things I'm going to talk about before I actually start the run. So the first is going to be some setting changes, which are highly recommended for speedrunning. Then we're going to talk a bit about spawn locations. Then I'm going to explain some landmarks, which are quite useful for navigation, and then I'm going to start the run itself. So the first thing you want to do is go to options and go to graphics. So in speedrunning it's important, it's lag-free is more important than it looking nice. So water quality doesn't have to be high. You can put the water quality down to low and detail to low as well. Doesn't really matter that much. Just as the important thing is that it's fluent. What is quite important though, that, well, it's not important, but it certainly makes your life easier if you turn bloom off. Bloom is by default on. It makes things look prettier, but it also makes things harder to spot in the lava zone. And also color grading, make sure color grading is off, because color grading makes it extremely dark during night and just makes your life miserable. Otherwise, for the graphic settings, just make sure that the game runs fluently. In general, you maybe want to, I don't know, but I think the default field of view is 50. You can put it up a bit. It doesn't really matter that much. It's just how you like it. Now the important stuff is down here, which are these four here. So what we are going to use, scroll wheel down as a secondary for left-hand use. This makes it that when we normally want to break a sandstone or limestone outcrop, we have to click 3 times to break the rock and click a 4th time to grab the item inside. And with this, each scroll counts as multiple inputs. So we can just scroll once and grab the rock and break the item inside. You can do either scroll down or scroll up. Just put the other one at right-hand use, and make sure to put cycle next and cycle previous to something different, but still usable. So I have it to left bracket, right bracket. That's it for settings. Yeah, so we are going to so there are 4 different modes, of course: creative, freedom, hardcore, and survival. For any percent, freedom is not allowed. So freedom is basically the same as survival, but without hunger and water. For practicing, you might want to do that. I started with practicing in freedom mode, but if you want to submit any runs, you have to run survival. So we are going to start a world by clicking on survival. This the first frame of your run you selecting the game mode has to be included in your run or in your video of your run. That is very important. So as you can see in the top right, I'm running on the September 2018 patch. The September 2018 patch has a few differences to the current patch, but at this point, current patch is almost as fast as September 2018 patch. I'm just running the September 2018 patch because it has a few, mainly 2 differences for 2 glitches. Those have to be, for one glitch there is a bit of a workaround, and for the other you just can't do it, and you just do it the intended way, and it's not really that much of a time loss. But the loading times go from 30 seconds plus in this patch to 6 to 12 seconds on current patch, so it's a extreme improvement. But on current patch, if you die, you have death loading times, which isn't really the case on this patch. So when we are on this screen, we are going to press and hold escape to skip the cutscene, and in this instant we would start the timer normally. So I'm going to press and hold escape, and now we are in the live pod. So first thing we want to do is walk forward and open the medkit fabricator, grab the medkit and exit the live pod immediately. Now I'm going to talk about spawn locations and landmarks. So this is just personal preference, but you can get rid of this oxygen mask by pressing F6. I personally hate this oxygen mask, so I always turn it off. So there are a couple of key landmarks. So the biggest landmark, of course, is the Aurora. The Aurora is the big crashed ship. The live pod location varies around the safe shallows. Then there are a couple of other landmarks. For example, these landmarks are mainly this and this cloud. These clouds are different from all the other clouds because they conceal the islands. This is the floating island and this is the mountain island. You can identify those clouds by opening up your PDA, and these clouds will glow. None of the other clouds will glow, but these two clouds will always glow. That's two of the landmarks. So this spawn is way too far this way. So a good spawn is mainly... I always tend to say, if you can see the back of the Aurora, it's a bad spawn. It's way too far this way. So I'm going to reset now. So now we have a different spawn. We are not behind the Aurora. We are... Personally, I quite like being next to the thrusters of the Aurora. We can see a couple of more landmarks, which is this coil tube, which faces out of the water, and there is a second one, but I don't think we can see it yet. But I genuinely like to say, if you can see those, you're in a decent area. If we look under, those are the above water landmarks. If we look underwater, we have this here. This is called we call it the low ceiling cave. This is generally always a good spot to spawn in. Then this formation here is the geyser. This is, we will go there anyway. And then if I head over this way, we have this giant coral tube. This is the most ideal spawn, in my opinion, is directly in front of this coral tube here. This would be the most ideal spawn. So this little valley here with this coral tube. But anything in the vicinity of this coral tube is pretty good. This rock formation over here, which with the low ceiling cave, it's a very good spawn. So the first thing we want to do when we... So I'm now going to... So there's one problem with Subnautica, and that is RNG. In Subnautica, a lot of stuff is randomly generated, and that tends to ruin a bunch of runs. So I'm going to load a saved file which has all the fragments I need, so that I don't have to reset this. This is just for sake of a tutorial. You cannot load a save in an actual speedrun. So I'm going to quit this now and load the save file. So imagine I just skipped the cutscene. I did not load a save. I skipped the cutscene and I spawned here. First thing I'm going to do is grab the medkit and exit the live pod. Then first thing I like to do is disable the oxygen mask, and I'm going to assess my spawn. I can see the low ceiling cave from here. I can see the geyser. It is a decent spawn. I'm here, I'm not behind the aurora. I can see... I cannot see a coral tube. Doesn't matter. I'm in a decent spawn location. Not the best, but it's okay. First thing I want to do is go down here and grab some mushrooms. 6 to be precise. Doesn't have to be 6 by the time you return from the sea glide wreck. You need 6, but you need 6 in total, but I like to grab 6 here. This is just a bad location because of the cows. I am going to grab 2 rocks, so I can break those rocks by scrolling. You normally have to click 3 times to break the rock and 1 time to grab the item. I can scroll once and break the rock and grab the item inside, and then I'm going to head back to the life pod. So I'm quickly going to explain the so there are a couple of different resource rocks. Well, rocks. We have limestone, we have sandstone, we have shale. There is a thing called a resource bucket and a rotation. So resource bucket is what items can be. What items can you get from the limestone in our case? In our case, you can only get sand, copper, and titanium. And the resource rotation is 2. So every 2 limestone, you are guaranteed to get 1 copper and 1 titanium. If the first one is copper, the second one will be titanium. If the first one is titanium, the second one will be copper. So you're guaranteed from the first 2 limestone, you're guaranteed 1 copper, 1 titanium. With the resource bucket from sandstone, I'm going to explain that a bit later. So with us having 6 mushrooms and 1 copper and 1 titanium, we are going to craft a battery. I'm holding down shift. By default, that's the sprint key. You can of course change the sprint key to something different. Then you have to hold the sprint key to keep this menu open. It saves a lot of time because you can navigate through this this menu while stuff is crafting, and I'm going to craft a battery and a scanner. Then I'm going to leave the life pod. First thing we want to do is grab sea glide fragments. Sea glide fragments can spawn anywhere in the safe shallows. It is more likely to spawn at a wreck, so we want to go to a specific wreck. This specific wreck is genuinely a rule of thumb is go towards this cloud next to the aurora. It of course can vary because your spawn location isn't always consistent, so you can spawn if you spawn further that way, you have to go more to the right. We might have to go more to the left because we are right next to the wreck. But we're going to head towards this cloud, and right behind this geyser here is the wreck we want to go to. So we are going to swim on top of the surface because without the sea glide, that is about 33% faster than swimming underwater without the sea glide. And we have this wreck right here. We want 2 sea glide fragments. Sea glide fragments are not guaranteed at this wreck, but luckily we have some. Sea glide boxes are always a bit different to other boxes. So a box which is partially encased in sand can never have any fragments. Sea glide boxes are way smaller than those boxes, and they have this indentation here, and always this and this burn mark. They are very unique, and they always have sea glide fragments. And we need 2 of them. We had 1. We're going to scan another one. And always press with E, you can unequip your scanner. If your tool is equipped while you're swimming without a sea glide, underwater it is way slower than swimming with the tool out. So we now want to normally we would want to look towards the life pod, but given the fact that our life pod is that direction, not that direction, which would be ideal, we're not going to look towards the life pod, but we are going to swim back over the geyser and toward the kelp forest here. Normally we would want to do that on top of the water, but for explanation purposes, I'm going to do that now here. We want to swim basically in a straight line towards this coral tube and grab 2 of those on the way. 2 creepvine seeds. And then we are going to swim towards this coral tube. Grab some oxygen. Again, swimming top of the water is faster. Here we have a bigger box. This is a mobile vehicle bay fragment. You can scan that. I would scan that if I'm on the way here, if that is on the way. I will not scan it because I will show you a different way of getting mobile vehicle bay fragments later, but feel free to scan it if you encounter wild ones. So while we are here, we are going to grab anything that is at the edge of this coral tube here, and then we're going to go up for air, and then we are heading straight down and inside the coral tube because we are going to need every breath. And then just grab every resource. With every resource I mean limestone and quartz. Don't go in those caves because we will go there later anyway. If you miss 1 or 2 resources, that's not a big deal because you will get those later anyway. You want to go in a helix-like motion ideally, but I can never manage that anyway, so you just want to grab, if possible, all the resources without drowning first. So a thing about drowning, you do not drown at 0. As you can see, I'm at 0 oxygen and still not dead. I can still move. You drown at -8 oxygen technically. Even if your screen is starting to turn black, you can still move and still go up for oxygen. So that is very important. We use that quite a lot. So I'm just going to grab this and this to have a bit more limestone, and then we're going to head back to the life pod. Again, swimming top of the water because it is about 33% faster than swimming under the water. Without a sea glide, that is. With a sea glide, it's way slower swimming top of the water. We do not want to grab this ladder and go into the top entrance. We always go the bottom entrance because top entrance, well, it's just slow. So again, with holding down the sprint key, we want to craft some stuff. First, we want to craft 1 silicone rubber, 1 lubricant, 1 copper wire and 1 battery, 1 standard O2 tank, 1 knife, and 1 sea glide. And we are going to put, once the sea glide is done, everything else in the locker. I like to grab those flares and go out and dump those because I hate flares with a passion. So after we have the sea glide, so now I'm going to explain the first glitch. So we are going to use a bunch of glitches in this speedrun because, well, it's a glitched speedrun. So when you open this locker here, there is a small animation that plays before the locker fully opens. We are going to use that to advantage and click on the locker and then leave the lifeboat immediately. If you can manage to click on the hatch. So now I heard a slight click from the lifeboat locker and I exited. So now I can open my inventory again and I have access to this locker. This is called ghost storage. Now that I closed it again, I don't have access to ghost storage anymore. So I'm going to activate it again. And I'm going to make it day just for the sakes of us being able to see better. So one thing about commands, if you use commands, the run is invalid. as soon as you press F1 to open the debug menu, F3 to open the other debug menu, and F8 the feedback menu, the run is invalid. But just for the sake of this tutorial, to make it easier to see, I will use cheats. So I now have ghost storage enabled, and I want to go grab some sandstone. So normally you would want to go to the coral tube. The coral tube is basically the main, it's my main point of not navigation, but I would like this spawn here would be my ideal spawn, because you can get access to basically anything. So first you want to grab some sandstone. We have this coral tube here, which is connected to one sandstone cave here and one sandstone cave here. The first sandstone cave is this sandstone cave here. We call this the low ceiling cave. You can go in through this direction or through this direction, doesn't matter. There are a bit of crash fish in here, but you can just avoid it, and you just want to grab every limestone you can get and every quartz you can get. Just look around, grab limestone. So one thing, if you always want to avoid crash fish, because when you are above a batch of acid mushrooms and a crash fish explodes and blows those up, you will die. They deal a lot of damage combined with the damage from the crash fish. So these three sandstone are always in here. You want to break those. And continue grabbing those. So I talked about limestone resource buckets earlier. Sandstone has a resource bucket as well. So the resource bucket for limestone was 2. Every 2 limestone you will get 1 copper and 1 titanium guaranteed. With sandstone it's different. Sandstone you can get gold, lead and silver. Every 8 sandstone you are guaranteed to get 3 silver, 3 lead and 2 gold. And that repeats every 8 sandstone. So we had 3 here. Then we want to grab 3 of those. 3 table corals. I genuinely like going in this direction. In the cave this direction, because then you can just go, well, this way. And then you see this arch here. Again, go break the limestone and get quartz. Head on over here. Here you can grab stuff you didn't grab earlier. And just grab everything. Those 3 sandstone are always here. Grab everything there is and go to the left exit. Ow. So here is the left exit. There is the right exit over here. You do not want to go down there. And just grab every quartz and every limestone there is. So if your inventory is full, if you had so many resources that your inventory is full, you can now open Ghost Storage by pressing Tab, and you have access to your LifePod locker, and then you can dump stuff in here. So one thing you would normally do earlier, which I forgot again, is count how much quartz you have. We have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 21. So we have too much quartz. You need between 17 and 20 quartz. 20 is good. If you have 17, you have to grab a bit of quartz later at the geyser. No problem at all. But I just dumped everything in here so that I have a bit more inventory space. I can dump this quartz because this is the 21st quartz. So we broke 6 6 sandstone, and we got 2 gold, 2 silver, and 2 lead. This would not be guaranteed. You could get 3 silver, 3 lead. You could get well, the important thing is we want 2 gold and 2 silver. If you do not have 2 gold and 2 silver by now, you can just look at the coral. So if you come out of... We came from here. Nope. We came from here. This is the cave we were coming from. We picked stuff up. Then we go up here, grab air. And yeah, shut up. Shut up, Cindy. We call her Cindy, or I call her Cindy. So there is the coral tube. And you want to grab some backup sandstone, because then the cycle is complete and then you're guaranteed to have 2 silver, 2 gold. You want to go... So here is the coral tube. Here is this area here. And there is a small cave. And in this small cave here, there are always 2 sandstone guaranteed. And then I just head out and head back to base. There are a bunch of locations where you can get backup sandstone. For example, down here you can get backup sandstone. And down here you can get backup sandstone. So you basically have a large variety where you can get backup sandstone. I can show you the backup sandstone here. This would be the backup sandstone here. So it is important that you do not grab any more sandstone, except you can count, and if you remember that you grabbed more sandstone, then I just had 8 sandstone in total, and that is important. I have to remember that. I am going to eat now because I am going to die otherwise. Normally you would only have to eat once in a run, but because I'm going slow, because this is a tutorial, I need to eat in between. So as I said, it is important to not grab any extra sandstone, because otherwise this is going to throw off your counting later on, because we're not going to count resources. Because of the fact that every 8 sandstone we are going to get 2 gold, 3 silver and 3 lead. We are just going to count the amount of sandstone we have and not the amount of resources we get from those sandstone. So after we just grabbed all of this, we want to craft... I need the 2 acid mushrooms. I want to craft a copper wire, a battery, a computer chip, a wiring kit, and a habitat builder. Then I want to grab some quartz and grab some titanium, because why not? Then I'm going to craft 4 pieces of glass. We might need some extra titanium, but that's fine. You could either activate ghost storage if you have too much stuff in your locker and don't fit everything in your inventory, or you can just take everything and leave. Then I'm going to build a base. The way you build a base is up to you. I personally like the hatch to face the aurora, so I'm going to look at the aurora, head down a bit, and I'm going to build a compartment. It is important to make sure that you have a lot of space behind your compartment. That is very important. Then I'm going to build a hatch and a solar panel. It sucks because it's night now, so we are not going to get any power from that. I'm going to grab this metal, and I am now going to build 2 glass compartments. 3 metal compartments, but I don't have any metal. So our goal is to make the base lose hull integrity to below 0. So we are going to put a fabricator as far right as possible. Normally I would craft stuff here, but because it's night and I don't have any power, I'm going to craft stuff at the life pod. I'm going to craft this titanium up into metal. This metal up into titanium. And I am going to build more. So you want to build a base until you have a hull integrity of 1. 3, 2, now I'm out again. Kelp forest is always a good location for finding metal. Especially at the edge of the kelp forest. Like here. You could, of course, always also grab a bit of metal early on, but you don't have to. I am at hull integrity 2. Then I'm going to build a vertical compartment. Now I'm at 1.5. Now I would craft 2 glass here, but because I have no power, I'm going to have to do that up in the life pod as well. Two pieces of glass. And now I'm going to build a window here and a window here. You unfortunately cannot build anything on windows, so that is why we had to make the fabricator this far right. And now our base is going to flood. So in the meantime, we are going to build 2 lockers. One here. It is important that it is in this compartment and not in the other compartment. One locker here for our late game items. One locker here for early game items. And make sure that here is enough space for a second fabricator. That is very important. And then just put everything in the early game items locker. And then now we are going to have to wait for our base to flood and for us to get power as well. In the meantime, we want to grab 4 mushrooms and 10 table coral. So one thing between the difference between this patch, which is September 2018 patch, and current patch. In September 2018 patch, if you slice a coral, you only get 1 coral. On current patch, we call it meme coral. The coral breaks into 1 billion pieces and you get 1 billion corals. So you don't have to slice as many. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you want to grab 2 copper and craft those into batteries. Craft 2 batteries. And put everything in this locker again. You can also put those in the late game locker. And so now our base is flooded. If you're in the base while it floods, I wasn't in the base while the base flooded, the game thinks you're both swimming and walking at the same time, and it puts those 2 speeds together. I am going to get my oxygen back. And it puts those 2 speeds together. If you weren't in the base while it flooded, that's okay. You can just partially deconstruct and reconstruct the hatch. And now we have a glitch. We activated our main glitch, which is called Super Sea Glide, which makes your Sea Glide go really fast. And that is one of the most important things about speedrunning, is that this thing makes us go really fast. The thing we want to do now is... Okay. Now is one of the first run killers, which tends to be really annoying. So yeah, let's do that. So we are going to, again, this is the guys where we were, this is the coral tube where we were. Now we want to look for some stalkers. We call them dogs. And we need teeth from them. 4 teeth to be precise. So there are a bunch of different types of metal. I'm quickly going to grab a few different types. Another one. So if you look at them, they have different shapes. We only care about the shape of one metal, which is this one. This is a straight piece with a thingy. This piece of metal, this here as well, it has a 0% chance of dropping any teeth ever if grabbed by the stalker. So we also always want to remove that piece from the stalker's grasps. This is very ideal right now that there are so many stalkers here fighting over metal. This is basically perfect thing you want to do. And we need 4 teeth. So you ideally want to have the metal floating in air and not laying on the floor, because otherwise teeth can happen to drop through the map, which sucks. So we already have 2 teeth. Teeth can be a real run killer here, because either stalkers, this is a bad metal, stalkers either like your metal or they don't like your metal. There's another bad metal, and they can either give you really good teeth or give you a really hard time. Well, so with Super Sea Glide, you cannot go out of the water, otherwise you will lose Super Sea Glide, but if you go to 0 meters, you can still get oxygen. Get those 2 metal, those are not contraband. And drop those 2, yeah. And we still need 2 teeth. We have 2 teeth, we need 4. You just heard that? That is the pretty distinctive sound drop teeth makes. So you can, it is very hard, not very hard to, it is very hard to miss them. That is a bad metal. So what just happened? The Aurora is exploding now. Normally that would not happen in your run, or if you have a fast run that will not happen. Because of a glitch we are going to use, I will have to use commands to unexplode the Aurora, or to restore the Aurora again. Because we have to have the unexploded version of the Aurora to make this glitch work. So we now have 4 teeth. Now you want to slice a creepvine twice and grab 3 fruits. 3 fruits and fill the rest of your inventory up with metal. And then you just head back to your base. Get some oxygen. So we want to convert the creepvine samples into fiber mesh to save some inventory space, craft 1 silicone rubber and 2 lubricant, again to save some inventory space. Dump those in here. I dumped the teeth in this locker. This is a late game locker, early game locker. Now I want to grab 2, 2, 1. Those are the materials for a solar panel. And I'm going to build a second solar panel up here, because more power. So now we have 1 leak here and 1 leak here. So now we could deconstruct the rest of the base and the base would not clear itself of the water. It is very important that our base stays flooded all the time. So we got that. Now we want to deconstruct this window and this window. Take 1 silver ore and a bit of titanium. I don't know how much, I think it is 4. Take off our standard O2 tank and craft a high capacity O2 tank. I am just going to get me something to drink. Another one, please, because I'm low on thirst right now. Please, bladderfish. So in your early runs, you might have to do this a couple of times. In your later runs, you don't worry about food and water ever. So also, every time you go through a power door, you get some oxygen, except for when you go through a power door into a flooded base. Thankfully, the outside world is not a flooded base. It's a flooded planet, so that doesn't count. And if you look, I'm at 126 oxygen, and now I'm at 135 again. So I got, I think you get 20 seconds of oxygen from going through a powered door, which is pretty nice. So now we want to count how much copper we have, if we already have 2 batteries, and otherwise we want to craft 2 batteries, and then we're going to count how much copper we have. We have 2 copper. Then we are going to go up to the life pod and activate ghost storage. It is very important now that we do not open our life pod locker until we mean our PDA until we mean to open it. We're going to activate ghost super seaglide again, because we lost it because we got out of the water, and we're going to head down to the geyser. So we have 2 copper, we need 10. 3. So those sandstone here are always here, those 8. So we can, without counting anything, we can just grab all of those 8 sandstone here. So we have 3 copper. That is a titanium, I don't care about that. 4. 5. So I'm going to count 6. Okay. So we want to count. We have 7 copper now. So we want to count to 10 copper and 24 sandstone now. So I'm going to count sandstone, copper in that order. So we have 0, 7. 0 because we don't count those with that. 0, 8. 1, 8. 1, 9. 2, 9. 3, 9. 4, 9. 4, 10. 5. 6. 7. Nope, Mesmer. Those are always here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Here is a brain coral. 13. So with Super Seaglide you can rub yourself against those stingers. No one cares. Doesn't hurt you. Also crashfish stay in the houses. They don't know you're around, which is great. 14, 15. As I said, you want to get to 24. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 21 is fine right now. Don't have to get to 24 right now. 21. Then you want to swim up here. Here's the wreck where you got the sea glide. 21. Here is the geyser. 21. Then you see this coil tube. From the geyser goes this coil tube. You want to follow that. 21. Then you see this here. This sometimes has a sensor on 22. So now I open ghost storage and dump some stuff in here. We want to keep 2 titanium, which is very important. Need 2. How we want to go in this cave? 324. Now we need a gold. No gold. Gold. Okay, we are good on sandstone. Then we want to go out of this cave, turn left, and there is this wreck here. We want to... So we kept 2 titanium. We want to build a compartment inside this wreck, which makes the wreck disappear. And then we want to scan some mobile vehicle bay fragments. It is very common that there are 3 mobile vehicle bay fragments in here, but it is also very likely that there are not 3 in here. So we got very unfortunate and got only 1 mobile vehicle bay fragment in this wreck. So we have to search for 2 more mobile vehicle bay fragments the normal way. Or is it even 1? No, 2. I think 1 is next to a coral tube. Mobile vehicle bay fragments can spawn anywhere in the kelp forest, in those large boxes. I think right in front of a coral tube is another one. So we have mobile vehicle bay now, and back to our base. Get all the oxygen, because you cannot get oxygen in your base. Then we want to build a second fabricator. Grab one of those, and those. Building a second fabricator. Now I'm going upstairs to grab all our stuff we put in the locker. Then I'm going to craft 5 copper wire. 3. 4. And I cannot count. I miscounted by 1. Happens. I'm 1 copper short. So night, as I said already, night is dark. Night is very, very dark. And you cannot see a lot. Of course it's not a copper. This one. The next one is guaranteed to be a copper. So I miscounted by 1 copper. Happens. So my power in this seaglide is getting really low, so I'm just going to switch it with a battery I already have in the locker. While I'm at it, I'm going to take the other full battery and put it into my habitat builder. So I have 5 copper wire. Then I'm going to craft 3 wiring kits. Take my fiber mesh and craft a rebreather with that. Then I am going to take all but 1 coral, table corals. So I'm going to leave 1 table coral in here. Craft 4 computer chips. Then I'm going to take the rest of the gold we have and going to craft 2 advanced wiring kits. And going to put all the electronics in the late game locker. This here. And now we are going to deconstruct the base. We don't need that. That was just for flooding our base. So all that is really important is this bit right here. with that, I'm going to put 1 glass in here and take 3 stalker teeth out here, and we are going to craft 3 enameled glass. It is very important to keep 1 glass in here. Then I'm going to take some titanium. And make sure not to drown. Fill up our oxygen again. We want to craft 3 titanium ingots. And have 7 titanium to spare. So we have 21. Again, titanium you get in the creepvine, in the kelp forest. So 1 titanium is 10. 1 titanium ingot is 10 titanium. And each metal salvage gives you 4 titanium. So I have 21, 25, 29, 33, 37. I think I'm good. Yes. Yes. Now we're might have some power problems because it's night again. So we have 3 titanium ingots now, which is great. Then we are going to take those batteries. Make sure to swap those batteries now into the habitat build and sea glide if you haven't done that already. Take 1 silicone rubber and 1 lubricant. Craft a power cell with that, and with that craft a mobile vehicle bay. Now we are out of power anyway, but it's getting day. I am going to grab some bladderfish for water, if I can find any. Grabbing fish with Super Sea Glide is way more tricky than it seems. So that wouldn't even have been necessary to grab the water. So now I don't have anything in my inventory going to activate Super Sea Glide. I maybe want to go up. So you want to probably craft a lot more medkits now. So medkits are just 1 creepvine, 1 fiber mesh, which means 2 creepvine samples. I maybe craft 1 or 2 more, because why not? Because we are going in the Aurora now with radiation. So the radiation is going to kill us. We don't have a radiation suit. Oh, and also at now make sure that the Aurora hasn't exploded yet. So if the Aurora has exploded, you are not going to be able to do this. So I will have to use a command to restore the Aurora. I'm going to do that above surface so you can see it. So if the Aurora has already exploded like mine have, this is not going to work. You have to use a very different way. Basically, you cannot do it now. I'm going to restore the Aurora to its pre-exploded state. Now it is very possible. So I'm going to make sure I have a bunch of medkits with me. Reactivate Super Sea Glide, and I am going to head towards the Aurora. We want to head towards this section, basically the left, the bottom rear thruster. and because of the radiation we have some medkits. So you want to look at these surroundings here to see if you can spot any Cyclops bridge fragments or Cyclops engine fragments, because we are going to need those later. And if we scan stuff here, we really want some medkits because we might not make it. So I'm going to take a medkit now. So didn't explain that properly. So if you're at the back of the thruster, you have this thing here. We call this the maintenance hatch. It is definitely intended by the game developers, and you can just swim on through here. This disappears when the Aurora explodes, so that's why we have to do this before the Aurora explodes. Then you just look a bit right. The Aurora is extremely difficult to do if it is night, because the radiation takes sight away, and the darkness of the night also. So now you have this line here, basically. You can see it above the water. So you just have to practice this. I want to take a medkit. Then you have this section here which has these 3 pipes. You want to line yourself up with the middle one and go as far back until it de-renders, and go back forth. Then you know you're at the right distance. You want to be under these compartments here, and preferably in the middle. You go down a bit and then press hold space and just go straight through the floor. You want to turn around and go to the captain's quarters. Then enter the code 2679, which is always the code for that. Open the door, click on the data terminal, and die in this fire. Jump to get electrocuted as well, and just die as quickly as possible. So, we don't need that anymore. We now need a mobile vehicle bay. 7 titanium. 1 2 1 2 1. Yeah. So this. So we need 2 titanium for a compartment, another 2 titanium for a hatch with a quartz for a hatch. 1 titanium and 1 coral sample for a fabricator, but we do not need the gold for the fabricator. Then supplies for a moon pool, 2 titanium ingots, a lubricant, and 2 lead. Anything else? Yeah, 5 titanium, 2 titanium ingots, 2 lead, 1 quartz, 1 lubricant, 1 table coral. Then you want to go into your life pod. Place the mobile vehicle bay in there. Activate ghost storage. Go back into your life pod, habitat. Reactivate super sea glide. Now again, do not activate do not open your inventory. So now you are at the geyser. You see this coral tube here, and you want to turn right a bit. About that. Here you can see this dense piece of the kelp forest, and you just want to head into there. Here you can see the life pod 3, and down here is a cave which has ice stock. You want to slash that with your knife once, and then just keep going this way. So you just want to follow this formation here. This is the underwater islands. We are on the way to the mountains. And just follow this. So if there are any Cyclops engine fragments or moonpool fragments right here. You want to scan those, otherwise we do not care. Head over this way. This is a Cyclops engine fragment. Yeah, I will scan it. Head back over here. So now here we have the alien structure. We have 2 caves here. We want to go into the top cave. And there is a purple tablet. We want to grab this purple tablet. And there is a small animation that plays. Then we want to head out over this here. And then we are going to go get oxygen. Again, going to 0 meters to get oxygen. Nope. Then we are going to build a compartment in front of this platform here with a portal. The platform. Also, you want to deconstruct the solar panel, one of the 2 solar panels of your base. I forgot to do that. Very important. Deconstruct 1 solar panel of your base. Then you want to build a solar panel here with a hatch. Very important, do not enter this hatch, because otherwise you will lose Super Sea Glide. Then we are going to... So I know that there are fragments right here, fragments we need, but I am not going to grab them yet. Normally, if you find some fragments here, definitely scan those. So now, this is the cave where we come from, and here is a bunch of shale, magnetite, and lithium. So we want to break shale. We do not care about magnetite, and we do want to count all the gold we get and all the lithium we get. So we have 1 lithium and 0 gold. So 1 0, 2 0, 3 0, 4 4 0. 5 0. You want to get to 14 5. 5 0. Then you just head down here to this volcano here. 5 0, 5 1, 6 1, 6 2. 6 3, 7 3. 8 9, 9 4, 10 4, 10 5, 11 5, 12, 12, 13, 14. Make sure not to drown. Go back up towards that portal here. Get oxygen. I like to switch batteries at 35% with my scanner. Go down to the portal. Then I want to open up my PDA. I have my ghost storage here. I want to drop all my lithium. all my diamonds, grab my mobile vehicle bay and keep 1 gold. Then I want to close and open again. Then I want to drop the eye stalk seed, the gold, the titanium and the table coral. Yeah. So again, as I said, normally you would definitely scan this moonpool fragment here, but I'm going to show you now where you would normally get it, and also these 2 engines here. So normally you would swim down here, and at this rack you want to find moonpool fragments and Cyclops engine fragments. This is a Cyclops engine fragment. Those are tons of Cyclops engine fragments, holy heck. Cyclops engine fragment, moonpool fragment, and moonpool fragment. So we want to have a full moonpool and full Cyclops engine right now. Then we want to... This rack points that way. A general rule of thumb is you want to follow the life pod. You want to go up this ridge here. So all over this place can be moonpool and Cyclops engine. Here you can find moonpool and here's another piece of moonpool. Here you can find moonpool and Cyclops engine fragments all over the place here. Then you want to go up here. Another engine. You want to slash one of those bolt bush and go up for air. And the thing got yeeted just now. Again, don't leave the water. Head back down. Then you want to swim over to one of those mushroom trees and slash that once. Then here is this arch. This arch right here has this specific spot here. This thingy. You might want to break this because this might be in the way. Then we are just going to put our head here and deploy our mobile vehicle bay just in the right spot so that it unfolds out of bounds. We can go out of bounds and we want to grab the mobile vehicle bay and just head straight down. You might want to practice the mobile vehicle bay clip. There are 2 mobile vehicle bay clips in this game. You might want to practice those beforehand. So we are just going to go down and there until we go into the Lost River to around 730 meters. Here's this piece of ghost weed here. We are going to swim towards that and slash that. And we are going to head down. Head down, head down. This is Casper, the friendliest ghost leviathan. He's not going to bother us. Now here we are at the lava falls. So those lava falls, we want some nickel from there. Nickel is a tiny little potato, loves to play hide and seek, and is a really big rum breaker because it is just so hard to spot and is very rare in existing. So if you are really low on oxygen right now, you want to head below 1200 meters, below 1200 meters, and just build a moonpool right here. We have all the resources for that. We grabbed the blueprints for that earlier, built the moonpool, just save your inventory, and then just either drown or die in lava. Then we are going to respawn back at the moonpool. Because the moonpool is below 1200 meters, it is going to flood on its own. So we have Super Sea Glide again. And you just want to deconstruct the moonpool. And this is a lava doggo, we do not want you. So you want to swim around the area of these lava falls here and look for some nickel. You want to have 3 nickel. Nickel is a tiny little potato, is really hard to spot. If you would have bloom on right now, it would be even harder to find nickel here. Bloom just makes it that those things on the screen is not that painful to look at. Maybe up here. Nothing here, great. This is shale. We do not care about shale. Nope. This is nickel. Nickel is a tiny little potato, loves to play hide and seek, can be really hard to spot and is very rare, and we need 3 of those. So we have 1. This is another one. And we just need a 3rd one. It's normally a rule of making tutorials that you get god nickel. So we have 3. So it is really hard to even get a 4th or a 5th sometimes, but normally while making tutorials you tend to get a lot of those. So you want to, again, if your oxygen is low, build a moon pool. Save your inventory and just either drown or die to lava. You will not take lava damage if you have Super Sea Glide. So that is one thing I want to mention. So we have Super Sea Glide again. So we came this way, and now there is this big hole here, and there is the lava castle. So there is Kevin. Kevin is a glitchy boy. He loves to eat glitchless runners. We are not glitchless, so it's not that big of a problem, but he could, in theory, get in our way. So now that we are here, we want to grab 4 kyanite and 4 crystalline sulfur. So 1 0, 1 1. We came from here. We want to head down here. 2 1, 3 1, 2 2. I lost count. 4 2. Okay. Then here is the thermal plant. I need some more crystalline sulfur. There is this cave here, which has great crystalline sulfur. Has like always a bunch of crystalline sulfur. So we have 4 crystalline sulfur and 4 kyanite. Where is the entrance? Here is the entrance. So I have 4 and 4. We are going to build a moon pool right over this cable here, right next to the entrance. And ideally, you would be rather low on health right now, and could die to full damage here. Not here, obviously, but you want to go inside the thermal plant here. Watch your health. If you have high enough health, you can just jump down here. Go around here, grab this iron cube here, and activate this thing here with the tablet we picked up at the mountain. Go in here. You can jump on the railing here and grab this data download, which is the iron power blueprints. Ideally, you would die from this jump right now, but I can never time that, so I have to walk all the way outside again. And because I'm already so low on health, I'm just going to swim into lava to kill myself. Because of this low health. Because I'm not going to make it. I'm just going to walk down out to the nearest exit. And I'm going to head straight into lava. If you could die in there, then that would be best, of course. So I respawn now at the moon pool. But to activate Super Sea Glide, you just swim on top of the to the top of the thing, and if you have this water running across over your mask, then you know Super Sea Glide is activated. Again, deconstruct this thing. We have 4 kyanite, 3 nickel, 4 sulfur, and this 1 iron cube. We want to head into this cave here, where we came from up there. There is, we can, with Super Secret, we can touch lava without any problems. This formation here, we have those two thingies here. We want to swim up there into the wall and deploy the mobile vehicle bay and fail. Again, this is something you have to practice. Doing this on the first try is rather hard, and we can just leave it there. And we want to swim down. Make sure not to go in bounds and stay out of bounds. Go down here. This is the big lava lake. We want to... our location is literally right on behind that lava lake. We see these walls and we want to swim under those walls to the right side of those walls. Now we are going to have Big Mama in our face. So here are those caves. We want to swim right at the bottom of those caves. We have this iron cube right here, and we want to slash this sea crown right here and head out. I am going to look for the nearest brain coral, which is here. Because oxygen. You can of course build a moon pool here as well and die to restore your full oxygen. Works as well. So that's good. We now have 2 ion cubes, one from the thermal plant and one from here. Then we want to swim to this portal here, and with Super Sea Guard you might have noticed you can slightly clip through and look through the terrain. This doesn't work with these. Oh, this does work with these bases. I didn't think it would. Okay. And underneath this sand here is a pedestal for an ion cube. Normally Big Mama would activate that. But we don't care about that right now. We want to... well, first we want to activate this, the incubator. Then we want to go over here and activate this portal by clipping through the sand and activating it.
My young need to hatch.
Then we're going to outside of this.
We have been here so long. The others built a passage to reach the world outside. I asked them for this freedom, but they could not hear me.
Now we are at the mountain.
I will give you
Really, what the others tried in vain to
take.
So now we are going to grab all the stuff we left here earlier. The ingredients for a fabricator and this one seed. We want to head in our base, build a fabricator,
With the passage you have opened, my young can
craft the
leave
hatching
this place.
enzymes,
But first they must feel the time is right.
deconstruct the
and break
fabricator
free their
fully,
shells. This is what the others could not
deconstruct
force
this hatch so we don't respawn here anyway, and we don't respawn here. We are going to respawn at the base, at the life pod. And now one thing about dying is when you die you are going to keep all your items you had when you last were in a base, so those items we had when we were in this compartment here, plus 1 random item. The 3 random items right now are this, this and this. Those are the items from the hatch. We want to have 2 titanium in our inventory, so we are going to drop this. We have 1 titanium from the fabricator and 1 random titanium. So to make sure we keep that titanium, we drop the quartz. And we're going to head back in here. Swim over to the incubator. Click, hatch the babies, and head back out again. And then we're going to swim towards this this enzyme thingy and cure ourselves. And this would be the cure split right now. Then we are going to swim towards this, the moon pool of the gun here and to the left side. And now comes the weird part. So first of all, I want to take off my high capacity O2 tank and rebreather. Then I'm going to swim towards this rectangle here. Press A to go left and jump. And then I'm going to fall through this wall here. Then you just want to swim in this way. So now make sure you are underneath this edge until you are over this edge. Otherwise you will lose the water and it sucks. Now I can go up again. Very important not to go higher than this edge. Yeah, otherwise you will lose the water. Go over here. I might actually put the high capacity O2 tank on to explain it better. Go up here. There are some invisible walls here. Then there is this rectangle here. You can go through that. I'm now inside the gun. I'm still swimming. I want to deactivate the gun now. Then I'm going to swim back. Again to this corner here. Swim up, swim over, and swim down. Now we are in the other part. Then we want to swim down here, grab this tablet. Now I want to take that off to die. And then you can take this iron cube, you do not have to. I'm not going to take it. But you can take this iron cube with you. And now we are going to drown. When I'm drowning, I can already put my rebreather on when I'm below 0 oxygen, and my inventory stays open when I die. And now I'm just putting my high capacity O2 tank back on again. Nope. So now I'm going into my base again because I have a battery problem. So there is a thing with batteries. You can take an empty battery, in my case it has 4%, and craft a scanner with that. And this scanner now has a full battery. So I'm going to take that battery out, put it in my sea glide, and just drop the scanner without a battery. I'm going to keep all my items I have in my inventory right now, because they are saved anyway. Yeah, when you die, you lose all your items. You keep all the items you had when you were last in the base, plus 1 random item, and all storyline items. So you and those storyline items are tablets and cubes. You're never going to lose tablets or cubes. So that's very good. So you can either dump this stuff in your base right now, but you don't need to. It is very important that you have 2 titanium right now. Then I'm going to ghost storage has enough space. Fine. Then you want to activate ghost storage again. Activate super sea glide again. So normally you would want to deconstruct one of those solar panels and take it to the mountain with you. I forgot that. And now that I have super sea glide and ghost storage again, I want to look at the aurora. This is the mountain cloud. This is the where is it? This is the cloud for the sparse reef. We want to head over there. This is the second island. And And now we just want, it also glows under your PDA, but I can't open my PDA right now because otherwise I will lose ghost storage. I just want to head over there. So now these ridges here is very that is clearly sparse reef right now, or sparse reef or cedarite sparse. I know this is sparse reef. So go down here. Then here is a cave. You want to go inside this cave. You want to grab 1 piece of salt, 2 rubies, 1, 2, 2 gel sacks, 1, 2. Then I'm out of here. I want to look at this wreck and follow this wreck. Then there is this cave here. Down, around, down. Then here is this cache. So if you grabbed 1 iron cube earlier in the gun, you need 3 iron cubes. Otherwise you need 4 iron cubes right here. Then I'm going to head out again. First left. Up, nope. This. And then there's this rack in front of you. I'm going to get go up for oxygen. And to this rack we're going to do the same thing we did earlier to another rack. We're going to build a compartment in it and make it vanish. In here we want to scan a Cyclops hull, Cyclops bridge, and grab the Cyclops shield generator. So we have 1 Cyclops hull here. I think we grabbed the bridge at the Aurora earlier. So this was a Cyclops hull. This is another Cyclops hull. This is a Cyclops bridge. All fragments have 3 different ways they can look. This is another bridge. This is another hull. This would be another bridge. I think I have the full Cyclops now. Now we need the Cyclops shield generator, which is this data box here. I'm sure I have the Cyclops, but yeah, I do. I want to get rid of those 2 titanium. I don't care. And then I'm going to head towards... It's very dark, so I can see anything. This thing here, this groove in the floor, leads to a small cave here, which is right next to that wreck. And I want to grab 3 of those deep shrooms right here. Then I'm going to open the ghost storage, and I want to dump the salt, rubies, gel sacks, and my deep shrooms. The iron cubes, I'm going to keep those, and everything else is already saved. And then you're either going to drown or kill yourself in deep shrooms right here. So now I want to drop that. That is our 1 random item. I want to drop all of this in here. Nope. Grab everything from up here. I do not need the diamonds. I'm just going to keep the diamonds here. Activate Super Seaglide again. Dump all of the lithium. Dump basically everything. I need some titanium. I'm a bit short on titanium. Alright, that's fine, it's fine. Now we are going to duplicate some items. For that we need 4 titanium and 1 glass and 1 moon pool. This. Then we're going to go to some place next to the base, but not so now you want to build 2 eye compartments. Make sure that they are not attached to the base. Then you want to partially make a window. Deconstruct this basic compartment here. Make an L compartment. Construct this window and deconstruct this window. Now this base is a weird base. Now we can build a moon pool attached to this base. And this moon pool is now a weird moon pool. This is actually multiple moon pools right now. So we can deconstruct the outer moon pool. In theory, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I have not understood yet why it works sometimes and why it doesn't. So I build this, I deconstruct the outer moon pool. There is a moon pool inside. I partially deconstruct it and reconstruct it again, and now I can deconstruct it and there is a moon pool inside. Then I can partially deconstruct it and reconstruct it again, and now there is a moon pool inside. This is now the 3rd time I did it, and I want to do it 4.5 times. 1, 2, 3. We are doing this for the titanium ingots. 1, 2, 3. 4. And now we want to do it for 1 titanium ingot. So that's good. We can dump some of this lead. Make sure to keep the glass you had from your dupe base, because that is important. Now we want to grab a stalker tooth and craft our 4th enameled glass. Grab all of your lithium and craft plasteel. Your 7 pieces of plasteel. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Oxygen, yeah. This. Then you want to grab those 4. You want to 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This. Yeah, I'm getting oxygen. Now we are going to craft 2 aerogel, 1 hydrochloric acid, 1 polyaniline, 4 ion batteries, but we can also only craft 3 because we are 1 gold short. For that we are going to deconstruct a fabricator for the gold. I'm going to craft this ion battery, grab those 2, craft 2 ion power cells. And now... so now what I'm going to do is grab... I want to grab 2 titanium ingots, 1 computer chip, and 4 lead. 4 lead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure Super Sea Guide is active, and now we have to look for a mobile vehicle bay. So we left the mobile vehicle bay in the lava zone down there. While we were gone in the sparse reef, the terrain deloaded because we weren't there, but there are exceptions for the deloading of terrain, which is water and mobile vehicle base. So basically the mobile vehicle base trying to float up, the terrain is not there because it's unloaded, so the mobile vehicle base just going to float up to the surface. The mobile vehicle bay will float up to this, next to this pillar here. We're going to grab that without losing Super Sea Glide. We want to go down here where it's deeper water. We want to lose Super Sea Glide, which is very important, and deploy the mobile vehicle bay. Because for whatever reason, mobile vehicle bay on the surface with Super Sea Glide do not combine well. The mobile vehicle bay gets yeeted away. So we want to build the Neptune launch platform, and then we want to head back to the base while the Neptune launch platform is building. Now we want to grab this, so the polyaniline, aerogel, ion power cells, this, everything we crafted and we got basically, this plus 2 lubricant. So we got this from the lava zone, all of this, we crafted this, crafted this, crafted this, crafted all of that, and then 2 lubricant. Otherwise, I have everything, I think. Activate Super Sea Glide again. So then we are going to do a jump to the left side up there. With Super Sea Glide you can jump. It's slightly overkill, but okay. We can stand down here and activate this console here. Then we're going to swim back over to the mobile vehicle bay. Climb the mobile vehicle bay. What? And 3 lead. I also always forget the lead. Again, lose Super Sea Glide because mobile vehicle bay don't like Super Sea Glide. We pushed it a little bit. It will fall on the platform, which is not great. I mean, it would have fallen on the platform anyway, but not like this. Yeah, this might be bad, but I don't know. So we are going to... Are you joking me today? This is not good. This is not good. I'm going to steer the Cyclops away because I nudged the mobile vehicle bay and now this is really bad. Normally you would not do that. That is just because I suck. Oh my god, I didn't craft the wiring kit, that's why. I crafted only 3 wiring kits. And activate Super Sea Glide. Yep. Too far. Then we want to go to the Cyclops. We had to build the Cyclops because we need something from it, and that is the Cyclops shield generator. So we could go in the normal way, but that is boring. We want to do text clip. So text clip is where you grab the ladder from the outside, which is right next to this line here. We click it, and then we swim inside of here. We want to take a power cell from here and craft the Cyclops shield generator. You can pick up the Cyclops shield generator from anywhere within the Cyclops. Then we want to head out. And that is all we built the Cyclops for. And I have everything. Now we're just going to build the last 2 stages of the rocket. By the way, you cannot scroll click this, and you have to be stood perfectly still while clicking this, so otherwise it will not work. Then we want to, you can use the scroll wheel on that. So all we have to do here is activate these 3 switches at the bottom.
Online. Auxiliary power unit online. Communications systems array active.
Then we can go up, and up there we have to flick 2 switches. The computer.
Computer systems active.
We do not have to interact with the time capsule and the life support system.
Life support systems online.
And then we just wait, then the rocket gets ready, and once you click this, the time ends. And that is time, and now the speedrun is complete.
Ready to launch on your command, Captain. Launch in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time capsule jettisoned. Caution, approaching orbital debris field. Orbital debris field clear. Performing gravity turn maneuver.
So I hope this video helped you. This is by no means a perfect tutorial. This was just merely me trying to make a tutorial for speedrunning, which is slightly more up to date than my last one.
Engaging ion boosters in 3, 2.
So that's it from me.
What is a wave without the ocean? A beginning without an end. They are different, but they go together. Now you go among the stars, and I fall among the sand. We are different, but we go together.